taking time to attend the session. And so once again, we've been having sessions on talks on love and the month of love. So last 2 weeks we had the session on what happens when love is mixed with attachment. And then last week we had love and forgiveness. And today we have the session on phases and forms of love. And so let us see what is this phases and forms of love. Hello, Phyllis. Nice to see you. You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
I live once a month for 3 months, went to a dealer.
Oh, John's iPad. Are you on John's iPad? Yeah. Okay. So,
Om Shanti, Sister Madhvi.
hello, Om Shanti. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you keeping yourself?
I'm well, thank you. Okay. Here it is. So what are this? What is this about phases and forms of love? When you're ready to talk, you can actually unmute. Otherwise, you can mute yourself, please.
So the echo of the Holy Spirit works.
Okay. So once again, let us start with a few words about love. And so even in our last session, we were talking about this beautiful feeling of love and what is love. And we were talking about love is not something out there, but love is this powerful energy of the soul, of the self. And so the universal symbol of love is shown as heart, right? And so I was like, I don't even remember when did we actually got these symbols recognized. Like, I can't remember when I was as a child if we had this heart symbols. Does anybody remember, like, when did we start having this, love as a universal symbol of heart? Wait, when you were little, did you have this symbol?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I remember, of course, the little Valentine candies with the heart.
okay.
That's what I remember the most. But
Right.
yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a while then. The love has been connected or shown as a symbol of heart. And also in the last session we were talking about that where is this heart when we talk about love, right? So we're showing this heart, but this is our physical heart. Love is something with beautiful energy. So definitely it's not the physical heart. So where is this heart that we are talking about? As we're showing love as a symbol is our own self, right? So when you say soul or spirit or heart, it's the same. So love is this beautiful energy of the soul. So when the heart is known, when the self is known, then definitely love is also known, because one of the virtues of the soul is love, and that's why this is it's called love is a beautiful vibration of our spiritual light, right? The spiritual light, and it's the vibration that is felt. We can't see love, right? You can't see love, you can't touch love, you can't cut love. Love is this beautiful energy, and as it is said that love reciprocates love. So when we give love, we receive love. So it's just like it's this beautiful radiance from the soul, that touches the heart of another, and that's when another also responds. I can't say I gave love, but I didn't receive love. Because sometimes, we think we gave love, but sometimes other things get mixed in that love. Some emotions got mixed in that love, and so we don't get back the same. Sometimes, that love could be, mixed with the emotion of attachment or expectation, or it could be anything. Oh, I gave love, but I didn't receive it. But no, when I actually give love, it's so pure. And when I give that love, I do receive. And so it's not physical. This is what I have to understand. It's not about only if I buy chocolates and gifts and the cards and flowers that I have love. It's an expression of love, of course. But what is actually love? It's this beautiful vibration that actually comes from the soul and which is felt. It's a feeling of love. It's called feeling of love. It's just like how the sun's rays, when it falls on the plants and flowers, and the flowers blossom with the sun's rays, and in turn the flowers actually give that fragrance back into the atmosphere. It's the same thing that when we radiate that vibration of love, then without even saying anything, the other one can feel it, right? Don't you
Yeah.
think so?
Yes.
Yeah,
And sometimes you can feel love just as much just by giving it, even when you don't get it back.
mhm,
It's still very strong just within yourself.
absolutely. That's why, it's said love equals to it's you actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's heart. Love is what we are showing as a symbol is that heart, and heart is who? I, the soul. I, the being, I am that heart. And so this love, this powerful energy is actually within me already. It's
Yeah,
there within me,
yeah.
which makes the soul very powerful.
Yes, yes.
And so when I say it makes the soul very powerful, meaning it doesn't make us dependent. And so when I have love in relationships, that doesn't, it means that we uplift each other. We don't actually become dependent.
Mhm.
Mm. So understand this love is something which is very subtle. Love is something which is, close to your heart. You know, it's that invisible energy that you have, which is making you powerful, which is actually making you a good person. And everyone has this, good heart. Because the original nature of every good heart is the goodness. We have this beautiful energy inside all of us, and so that's why love is, said to be non-physical. It's not physical, but we think we have to express in so many different ways physically. And what we actually forget to give is to radiate from that pure love from inside. That we are forgetting. We're trying to replace this love uh, with external things. Right? So we need to understand that it's something which is internal. It's something which is invisible. It's something that is intangible, inaudible. It's that soundless chant. It's that vibration which is going on inside the soul. Nobody can touch it. It cannot be cut. It's not something physical. This is what we have to really understand about love. Each one of us, we need to feel that love which is very powerful inside us. And that's what bonds all of us together. It's internal. But today we are searching for it outside. We want somebody to give us. We run to the departmental store to get things, you know, to say that, I love you. I have this love for you. Look at this. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy things, but you know what I mean? We have made it more actually physical. Or we stopped somewhere, it got blocked inside. We stopped to experience that beautiful energy which is already within. So feel it even for a moment right now. Take a moment and feel that. Just say to yourself, even create this awareness, I'm full of love. Can you feel it? I'm full of love. And when I feel that, I can actually radiate it out there. And so love is that, it's called, as it said, as the invisible glue of all harmonious relationships. Right? It patches the relationships, it puts the relationships together. And that's what it is said that for mind, you need peace. And that's why we say, I need peace of mind, right? For mind, you need peace. In relationships, you need love and happiness for life. And so, but what is going on that we all, say we have love for each other, there is love. But then what's going on in the relationship, in our relationship? Where is that love getting disappeared? Where we are going wrong that today sometimes relationships are getting broken or bitter, and sometimes it's becoming very hard, to understand each other or to live with each other. What do you think? Where is that love? What's happening to that love? We all want to have that love in our relationships, but what's going on? Why do you think today, you know, like people are getting married, but at the same time, there are so many divorce cases or living in a relationship, but yet at the same time, people are feeling kind of burdened to you know to make the relationship work, and especially this generation, youngsters, they don't even want to actually be in a bond. Right? It's like they don't want to be in a relationship. It's like, more than experiencing a relationship, somewhere there is a sorrow of breaking a relationship, right?
Yeah, sure.
Feeling sad about the relationship, it's not working. This is what we hear
Yeah.
from many. So what's going on? And we are all celebrating Valentine's Day. We're talking about love. So what's happening to this love? Where it's actually disappearing?
I think some of it has to do with expectations. Like sometimes you're expecting something of the other person, but they don't know, they have no idea about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so one person could get angry. And the thing is, if there's something you want or feel you need, you have to be able to express it. I feel a lot of times, I've seen a lot of times in relationships, my own too at times, you expect somebody to do something, and if they don't do it, you get angry and you don't tell them anything about it.
Right.
And I heard once it was said that expectations are preset resentments.
Mm,
So, like if you expect, then if you don't get, you have a resentment, you know?
absolutely. Yeah.
I think that happens a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like expectation is the moment we have, it's the end of the relationship. It's like somewhere,
Yeah,
impurity got mixed into love. Yeah.
I
And
think
I
love,
also
yeah,
feel that like we are getting too much materialistic in relationship. So
Mm,
that is, I guess, one of the reason why the relationships are not working these days.
mm, mm.
that's true.
And nobody wants to compromise at the point, okay,
Mm,
why should I, that I think is too
mm.
much getting into us. So that's why, that is also, I believe,
Yeah.
one of the reason.
Very much, very much.
Rather than we are getting into the I thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said, Pardon. Very well said. That is true. So somewhere it's like, instead of experiencing this love which is within and which is, so pure, we're making it, as you said, more materialistic and more like, physical. We're still not understanding how pure this love is. We're putting into a physical forms basically, mhm, um, to experience that love. So somewhere we have to make that shift. If I really want pure love in my relationship, then I have to actually go back to, being that love rather than doing love, right?
Yes.
So it's about, being that love. So in relationship, how much am I being that love?
Mhm.
Is very important to check. So when I say like, being that love, meaning it's actually soul consciousness. If you remember the first session about when we were talking about, love being mixed with attachment, we were talking about how we become very role conscious. And in that role conscious, we are losing love. We are having this, I am so and so, I'm a husband, and so this is how I have to act. I'm a wife, this is how I have to act. And so we have also split that love into roles. According to the role that we play, we are
Yes.
actually sharing that love. But
Mhm.
it's still not love. We are thinking it is love. But somewhere it got contaminated already. That love, we are thinking that today there is love in relationships, but somewhere that love has got actually dormant because I'm not emerging it. I'm not touching that core to experience that love, but rather I have, blocked that love or suppressed that pure love. We all have that love, but somewhere we are suppressing that pure love and we are, replacing that with so many other things. And so, one thing about in love, in relationships, mm, can you all see the screen? Can.
Yeah.
So in relationships, somewhere it's like um, we want to have good relationships, we want to be together, we want to share that love, but we don't want to deal with defects. Right? We all know each of us have so many defects, but then we don't have no tolerance for other one's defects. Who is perfect in this world? We all know that none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect, but yet at the same time, I get frustrated looking at the defects in others. So somewhere something is not right. Uh, So our vision actually has become defective. No, we want to be together, but zero tolerance, zero acceptance. We want to be, to see that perfection in others when I'm not that. And so, what do I need? I need a lot of actually, relationship means. That's what it is, right? To adjust, to be together, because we all know we are all different. So many of us are on this call. Are we all the same? Do we all think alike? Do we all speak alike? No, we all are so different. Each one is unique. But when it comes into relationships, somewhere I think in that pure love, there is that acceptance. That pure love brings us together. But just slowly after that, it's shifting to some different energy. It's getting contaminated with some ego, with some attachment, with other things. It's getting, contaminated, and that's where I have no tolerance toward understanding where the other person is coming from. And so we don't want to deal with defects. That's the problem today. Our vision has become such that we're only looking at defects. I mean, only looking at defects in the sense like that's the first thing we are seeing. Oh, this went wrong in this person. This is wrong in this person. This person didn't speak this way. Right? No matter how many good things and goodness that person must be having, one, the vision of looking at one defect will actually block from sharing that love, right? And so this way we are blocking to share that love with how many? Think about it. Today, how many souls have you blocked not sharing love? How many souls do you think, I don't want to deal with this person? This person has to do that person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we have somewhere blocked our love from reaching. So we're not radiating anymore from that spiritual being, that vibrations of love are not actually reaching them. So the heart has become actually blocked today.
We all have defects.
Mm.
And I think love is about letting your partner be who they are.
Mhm.
And you might see their defects, but you have to accept them. It's a package deal. You can't shop for
Yeah.
this. And, I just think love is letting the person be who they are, letting them be who they are, not trying to change them or correct them. And there are gentle ways to address issues.
Mhm.
You don't have to put them down. You don't have to make demands. You could just say how it affects you. When you do this, I feel really bad.
Mhm.
You're not saying you're a bad person or you better cut it out and get with the program. You're just saying, I noticed that when you do that, it makes me, there are ways
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you can still let that person be who they are.
Mhm.
Because that's really love.
Mhm.
Nobody's perfect as far as I know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So
it's true. Yeah, no one is perfect. And so we want to be in a relationship at the same time. We don't have that power to actually to stop seeing the defects. I remember one of my friend, you know, when I asked, do you want to meditate? And she's like, no, I don't want. Okay, I'll see. But then she got married, and after I think a couple of years, 1 or 2 years or so, she called me, and I was like, okay, she's going to say all these beautiful things about her married life, and then she, she said, oh, I started to meditate, and I was like, taken aback. You meditating? And she said, yeah, I'm starting to meditate, and it's like I'm going to the, I'm just it's been a couple of months. I'm going to a meditation center and I'm loving it. And I said, what made you go to the meditation center? Because, I said many times, but you were not interested. And she said that, everything was fine. We got married, wonderful. But then slowly, we started to realize that our egos were starting to hit, and then she said that to actually adjust and to understand that soul being together now, I need power. Somewhere I felt I need that power to understand him and accept the way he is. And so, but my ego is actually clashing. My ego is coming into the way. And I really felt I need to work on my ego. I started when, I thought I should go for meditation classes. I said, wow. So this is where, we want relationships in our life. But I think today we are really lacking that love. We're not experiencing that, except love. We think we are having love, but I think except love, somewhere, we have all other things. And that's where, the relationships are becoming wobbly. They're shaking today. And so, do I have the power to stop seeing the defects of others? And where do I get that? And this is where, to step back and, looking into that feeling of love, that pure love, and where that pure love comes is from the soul. And to experience that pure love, doing some meditation, some silence, these things will definitely help. To immerse that love, to actually feel yourself. Because if you ask me what is the connection of, meditation and love, but to experience that love, you need to actually, you know, get into your own self. Because as we saw the slide, it's internal. And if it is internal, I need to actually step back and pause, and that's where the point of detachment comes. So it's not attached love. Attached love will always something like attached love, but it's when love replaced by attachment, it breaks things, right? But it's love is always has a certain detachment, you know, because only when I detach myself from something, I allow myself to heal. Think about it. When I'm attached to something, I can never heal. And so in relationships too, when I'm too attached to something, there is no healing. Because immediately when I'm attached to something, the way this one is feeling, I'm feeling the same. And so if this one is feeling a certain, certain emotion, I immediately pick up and I'm experiencing the same thing. But if I want to really share that love from inside, I need to actually step back, mm, and be in my self love, in that self esteem. The moment I depend in relationships, I cannot give love. Right? So it's a soul conscious love, meaning that's when it's a certain detachment. So when I have the detached love, I'm able to heal relationships. Sometimes we are overdoing it, to fix it, this way, that way. But it's about feeling that pure love without any emotions, and things get, work much more better. So it's one powerful love. That one powerful love has many faces and forms. Mm. And so, what are those faces and forms? How does it look like? When there is love, how does it look in action? Just now, look like in action. Some of you just mentioned, like Phyllis said, it's acceptance, it's no expectation, and not being too materialistic. And so, what are these different faces and forms of love, expressions of love, and how does this love look like when it's in action? So, any guesses? Some of you have already said, and so we go to the next slide. And so there are, various variants of love. And so love is not just physical, but forms of love. That's why we always say kind heart. right? We always say this one has a kind heart, and somewhere, kindness is connected to love. It's an expression of love, and that's why, and love is heart. And so we say kind heart, oh, you have a kind heart, mhm, generous heart. We don't say generous mind. We don't say generous mind, it's generous heart. Because you only give when you have love. When I don't have love, then somewhere I'm stingy. Right? I'm like selfish, little closed. I don't want to give. So when there is this love in the heart, yes, the heart becomes generous. I'm giving. So that's why it's not about receiving, it's about giving out. When I give out, I naturally receive in. And so it's not about receive and give, it's about give and receive. This is another thing I have to remember in relationships. And then compassionate heart. So always say, heart, compassionate. When there is love, you're compassionate to others, because no one is perfect again. Sometimes things happen. People do, and according to their understanding, people behave in a certain way, or people. Everyone has their weaknesses, but going beyond, and having the power to have compassion towards someone, and not punish. You're like this, and I won't be there, and I won't give you. I'm closed. Having compassionate heart. And again, we say happy heart, right? Where there is love, there is naturally happiness, because love is giving. And so when I give, there is happiness. I'm never measuring what I'm getting. I'm never counting what I'm getting. I'm just giving. And so in that, the heart is actually filled with happiness. And so where there is love, there is happiness. Naturally, I'm happy. So think about it. So if I'm having these in my actions, that means I do have love. I do have love anyway, but I'm also experiencing that love. Again, caring heart. When there is love, naturally you want to care. But remember, all of this first you're doing to yourself before even you're doing to others, because you have that self love first, right? So you're kind towards yourself, you're generous towards yourself, you're compassionate towards yourself. It's not about becoming fatigue in love, that, oh, I give too much, and then people misuse. I'm too tired, this is what we say. But first, it's about experiencing this love within. And so being all this in action towards myself, and then I'm radiating that to others naturally. The caring heart, unconditionally, I'm forgiving, unconditional forgiveness. I don't hold back anything in my heart, like a mother's heart, right? A mother doesn't hold back anything. If the child does anything, she just forgets. The child may, hold the guilt. Oh, I feel, the child may hold the sadness. If the mother has to give a correction, she will give and she'll forget, right? She doesn't keep anything in her heart. So the child is the one, if the child comes back, mother will say, oh, when did I say? What happened? I don't even remember, right? That would be the mother's expression. Oh, that's not. So when there is pure love, not just for my children, but that forgiveness is there for every soul, that compassionate heart is there for every soul, and respect, which is very, very important. I can't say I have love for you, but then I disrespect you. No. In relationship, it does happen that, oh, I love you, but sometimes we don't deeply respect each other. We're ready to actually, be too hard on each other. And so respect is very much close to love, because having self-love is like self-esteem, or you can say self-respect. And so when you're having that self-respect within yourself, for yourself, then you're actually giving that respect. So love and respect go together in relationships. If I'm not, receiving respect, that means, and again, I can't say I want respect. No. But yes, love means respect the other one for sure. Mhm. Tolerance. We were just talking about tolerance, right? Love means tolerating. Again, tolerance doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you're not becoming a doormat. No. Tolerance is actually a power of love, that I'm not allowing any negativity to block my heart, which is coming out from out there. But because I'm so full with this love I'm giving, and that's why somewhere I think in olden days, like the poets, they have compared this tolerance to tree, a giving tree. So they say, a tree is giving shade to even a woodcutter. A tree is always giving a fruit, even we throw a stone towards the tree. And so, which means the power of love. The power of love acts like a shield which doesn't allow any negativity that's coming from out there. I'm so full of this power that I'm just giving. And of course, acceptance. And there are many more, right? Many more, if you see, where there is love. Can you name any more? Can you think of any more? And what are the different acts of love?
How about trust?
Trust, yes, absolutely, trust. Helping nature, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add to the list? So then, one of the beautiful forms of love is that eternal love. Now, we want to bring all of this in our, actions, definitely. We want to have these in our actions, and we want to make our relationships better and more stronger and more beautiful. But then we were just talking about somewhere we are lacking something, or, we are not able to experience that love always. It's not always in our actions. Sometimes we get very frustrated, in relationships, the way others are behaving. And sometimes it becomes, very difficult, like, somebody may be constantly disrespectful in relationships. And so how can I give that love? This is where we feel like, how can I be in, happy in relationships when, um, something is not going well, right? We have these thoughts about, or, we feel sometimes very disappointed, you know, with love or with relationships. And so, what is that? Where is that? If I want to bring this love into action, then I need to connect to the source, right? Sometimes I want to give, but I'm feeling empty inside. Right? Somewhere my love is blocked. I'm not feeling that I can actually give. And that's where understanding the source of love is very important, and connecting to that source of love is absolutely needed. It's just like charging the battery. Um, When our batteries on in our cell phones are getting discharged, immediately we are looking for our charger. right? We need to charge to the source. In the same way, who is the source of love? Sometimes I don't have, I'm not feeling like giving that love. And so it is needed to connect to that source of love so that I can feel that love in myself. And so, who is that source of love? Who is constantly full of love? Who doesn't change at all? No matter how a child is, he's always ready to love. And that is God. God is the one. And I think this is very important, which we are missing today, experiencing God's love. God's love is that, you know, that constant, He's always giving, He's always there to give, He's always overflowing with that love. And so today, when I remember God, or when I even sit to remember God, how do I do it? Do I connect to Him as this beautiful source of love? Am I taking a few moments and experiencing, yes, you are the source of love? Think about it for a moment. How do you connect to God today? Or you're so busy, God, God, please do this for me. God, God, please. I'm getting late to work. Let the train come. God, please let this interview go well. Oh God, please make me pass in the exam. I will give you this. Okay, I'll come to the church. I'll come to your temple. I'll break coconuts for you. I'll do this for you. Please, please do this for me. Today, check for a moment. Think for a moment. How do you connect to God? Do you go with a desire to Him? Think for a moment. How do you connect? Somewhere, I think we are missing the link, the way we are connecting to the beautiful one who actually bestows everything in our life. We are lacking that connection with Him. That's why. That's why we are not able to recharge ourselves. That energy level is going down. Even though I want to give love to someone, I'm unable to give because I'm missing God's love in my heart today. That thread of that link of love is missing. So have we experienced any time God's heart? We want to be in everyone's heart, right? We're always scrambling. Oh, I love this person. I want to be in their heart. We want to know others' heart. But did we ever think for a moment, how is God's heart? How does God's heart look like?
What was that? What'd you say?
How does God's heart look like?
Oh,
Yes.
Full of love.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I know God's heart?
We don't know, but it's like God personifies love and, like care, and like it's a supreme power which cares for everyone. It's just we don't link to it, and we try it in our daily basis, but we only try to link to Him or connect to Him when we are in deep trouble or any grief moments. So
Right.
otherwise His love is always unconditional for each and everyone.
Right. Think about it. Am I connected to God's heart? Do I take some moments to have that heart-to-heart conversation with God? Mm. It is said that He's just a thought away from you, right? It is said God is just a thought away from us. And do I create that thought in love with God. Think about it, we want a love in relationships, right? So what is that actually relationship which is very close to your heart? The first relationship.
Mother,
Mother? Yeah. So we think about so many physical relationships that are close to our heart. So just think about it.
a
We call
child,
God, huh? Sorry,
mother and child, both.
mother and child. But say if your child is constantly mischievous, then even then you'll have
Yes.
love. Okay. Your child doesn't, listen to you, and if the child has reached 40 years old, 30 years old, still doesn't listen to you, even then you'll have love.
Well, at 40, they should listen to us anyway.
We think they should listen. That's
No, we,
our expectation that they should listen.
no,
But
they should not. They should work on their own.
mm, but just think about it, think about God's love. We definitely have conditions. That's what we think. You reached 40, you reached 30, now you behave yourself, right? We have these conditions in love. But God, we all actually think, we all say, you are the mother and father, right? We all go to God and we feel that. So the first and foremost relationship actually the soul has is with God. Physical, then later comes physical relationships, right? Why? Why? Because first and foremost, I'm a soul. Then the soul takes a body. Then when I soul take a body, then I have my physical relationship. But even before I take a body, who am I? I'm a soul. And so who is the parent of the soul? Who is the parent of the soul? Right? That supreme soul, the beautiful being, who is the parent. And so first and foremost, the soul has relationships, all relationships with God. But yet today we're caught up in physical relationships, or we give time to physical relationships, which is okay, which is good. But then what we are really missing today is God's love, or connecting to God's heart, who is my mother, father, my companion, friend, everything. We're missing that love. And so think about it. Why I'm going very slow with this slide is for you to experience how much are you close to God's heart. If you say something, does God listen?
Yes, he does.
Ah, good. But he's very close to the heart then.
I talk to him throughout the day,
Very
and I thank him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel closest to God with nature. I just love nature. The birds in the morning, I feed the birds, I feed the cats outside. I just, he's everywhere, How could you not see him? But
he's everywhere, but then he is a separate entity as well. It's just like, I, the soul, I'm there and I do, and I, perform a lot of actions. But as a soul, I'm an entity. It's like, Phyllis is a person, right? She's a soul, and she's in a particular body. In the same way, of course, we see the beauty of God in nature, but God Himself, connecting to God Himself.
yes,
It's so
yes.
beautiful. That we always miss. Again, we go into nature, connecting to nature, connecting to, social work, which is all good. but I'm still not connecting to God, you know. And so it's like, connecting to, uh, you know, it's like, if say Phyllis created a painting thing, connecting to a painting is, your creation, but connecting to you is, I'm connecting to the creator of that creation. So in the same way, we connect today to a lot of external aspects that we feel are the expression of God, but it's time that we actually connect to Him and experiencing Him, experiencing God as that ocean of love, experiencing God in all relationships. And when we do that, the soul is filled with that authentic, that pure love. So taking out some time and connecting to the ocean of love is absolutely necessary. We are missing that today in our life. How much time do we really take out, mornings or evenings or during the day, just to turn towards Him, not towards His creation, but towards Him, and experience that ocean of love. So can the ocean have less love for anyone?
Mhm.
Why he's called ocean? Why God's love is compared to ocean? Because it's unlimited, right? His love is just unlimited. It's not that, all of us will go to Him and He will say, oh, today I finished, actually, come tomorrow, I don't have enough today to give. He's never that, right? He's always giving, He's unlimited. And you don't go to an ocean and say, give me some water. You just dive into, you just take it, you experience it, you enjoy it. That's what is God's love. God's love is today we go to Him, we ask. We keep our hands like this, give me, that's what we do. But He's saying that I am so overflowing with love. I'm so overflowing with with every power. Whatever you want, I'm the source. Come to me. And yes, so we are lacking this divine energy, this divine power in us. And when I'm connected to Him, I am also overflowing because you go to the ocean and you're just filled. You can't say, I'm going to the ocean and I'll bring a bucket of water. I need one bucket of water. You go to the ocean and you dive into the ocean and play in the ocean, right? So God is like that. But we have become like somewhere like, kind of beggars. God, give me, give me, give me. And He's saying, understand, I'm overflowing, just take it. So,
Madhviji, may I ask a question?
sure.
I think of God as a supreme, so I have a reverence for Him, but love is not coming to me. I don't know what, I mean, He's just so high that I can't love like I love a person. That kind of feeling doesn't come to me.
Mm,
It's more of a reverence for the Supreme Being.
mm.
And so is that kind of no, I don't know what to
No,
do
actually,
about
it's a
it.
very beautiful comment you made. So this is what we have to understand that, we've always saw God as, this highest being that we can't reach Him, we can't experience Him. He's too high to reach. Oh, to reach God, you have to actually take so many births. These are the things that we usually
Mhm.
say. And this is how
Right.
we experience. But, think about it. He's saying, I am actually your soulmate. You know, as I just said, that all these physical relationships, why we are not able to experience love from God is we are not experiencing the relationship with God. Because where there is relationship, there is naturally love. Don't you think so?
True.
Yeah, where there is relationship, there is natural love. Because you just told me that, when I asked about, what relationship, you mentioned mother, you mentioned child, right? Why did you mention these two? Because if you see, it's a relationship. So where there is relationship, naturally love flows towards that. So today we are not actually understanding that we have a relationship with God. God is not just like a superpower sitting there, on a throne with a crown. Here I am, God. You can't reach me. I'm too high. No. So if I want to experience God's love, I need to understand that I have the most closest relationship with God as a soul. I'm His child, you know. And as a child, I don't have to even ask. A child has a right to take, right? A child is naturally an heir to father's property. In the same way, recognize that you, you have this beautiful bond with God before even with anyone. Think about it, before even you were born.
Yeah, I understand that intellectually, but
But that's what I have to put it into my feeling now, into my
yeah,
understanding, into my heart. So one is
right.
that you said you intellectually understand, right? Once you
Mhm.
understand, now you do something to experience it. And that's where meditation comes. That's where silence comes. That's where taking some time to experience comes. Because say you understand you have a child, right? You
Right.
understand you have a child, you have a relationship with child. But when will you actually feel that relationship? When will you feel a relationship, any relationship that you have? When will you feel it? You intellectually understand this is my husband, this is my child, this is my mother. But when do you feel a relationship?
When I mean, when I have that relationship,
No, you
that
already have a relationship with your child. The moment
right,
your child is born, you have a relationship, right?
right.
When do you experience that relationship?
I don't know. When you ask me that,
Okay, anybody else can share? Anybody else can answer? When do you experience a relationship?
I think right away.
No, I guess when you start, like liking or
Mhm.
loving someone, that's when you get into relationship. Like,
Mhm.
like
So,
I meet someone, but
but
I would
when,
be like, I won't call that I'm related to him. I would say, oh, he's just an acquaintance, right? It's
Mhm.
just, when you start liking that person, you like the thoughts, the way he or she works, then you say, oh, he's a good friend of mine.
So how did you know that person thinks like this? The person, how did you actually even begin that liking? What did you do to begin that liking?
Like when you come in constant contact with that
Ah,
person,
exactly. When you spend time,
time.
right? When
Yes.
you spend time, that's when you actually understand. Okay, it says when I'm detached, but when you're detached, you won't experience relationship is experience when you actually give time. Yes or no? When do you
Yes.
experience, when do you experience the love of your child? When you give that time to your child, when you sit with your
Right.
child, right? When you
Right.
talk to your child, what's going on with you? With any relationship, only when you give time, that's
Mm-hmm.
when the understanding is growing. That's when you know they're liking, their dislike. Okay, somebody is making a lot of noise. Mute yourself. Mute yourself if you're not speaking, please. So, Yeah, so only when you're, giving that time, you're able to understand the likes and dislikes, how that person is. A relationship grows when you give time. And so, Bharti, that's what you have to do. Intellectually, you understand about God being your mother, father, but you need to give time to experience that. You need to give time. When do you know what your child is doing, what your child likes or not like? When you actually sit and talk to him, right? When you spend time, and that's what we are lacking today. We don't actually sit and open our heart and allow the soul to experience that relationship with God.
So when you say give time, how do I do that?
And it's what in silence you can do, that is in the form of a meditation. It's just giving time, meaning sit down for a few moments and invoke this, create these beautiful thoughts, you know, experience this relationship. So when even, okay, so how do I give time? Even before giving time, you need to know, right? So it's like, you know that this one is your child, you know this one is your husband, you know this one is your mother. So one is, the first thing is knowing. So after knowing, then you're spending time, right? In the same way, knowing God, you know that this is what you have, and then sit in that silence because He communicates in silence. And so
What would I say?
first you need that knowledge to understand God, right? And once you understand, then sit in that silence to experience as He is. And that I cannot do once in a month or once a year. That has to be every
Right,
day. Relationship only grows when I spend time every single day.
right.
So listening about him, having a heart to heart conversation with him in silence, connecting, experiencing him as the ocean of love. If this you're doing every single day, you will start, experiencing God's heart. You will start experiencing who He is. You'll start experiencing His true love, and you will be overflowing. Now, this is what happens in love. When you're in love with someone and when you spend time with them, what happens? Hmm? What happens when you spend time with someone more often, like, more often, and you give more time to someone?
You get to know the person, you start, then you develop feelings for that person.
Mhm,
And yeah,
mhm.
it's mostly like you get to know that person. So
So you will get to know, yes, you got to know him, you got to, you will experience certain things. But when you spend, even like, say you're spending, yeah, gets to know, better understanding, yeah. What will happen when you are spending time with someone a lot, you will
a
start to become like
connection.
them. You will start to become like them. Don't you think so?
Yes.
You will
Yeah,
start
you
to act like them. You will start to talk like them. You will start to behave like them,
think
right?
like them, right?
Think like them. You will start to, do things like them. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what happens. It's called, like, Hindi, it's called the Sangaka Rang. It's called, the color of the company. Whoever
Right.
you are with, you will start to behave like them. And so that's what happens when I start to spend some time with the ocean of love. When I start to spend time with the ocean of love, I will start to be like him. I will start to become that master ocean of love. Mm. And so God, every day, He sings that song of pure love. And so in silence, sit and listen. Feel that pure love. Mm. So, because of what we were just talking, right? In relationships, we want to be nice in relationship. We want to actually give, but somewhere our heart is broken with different things. with disappointments, with all sorts of other things. And so when I start to experience God's love, He fixes my broken heart so that I'm able to share that love with others. I'm able to give that love to others. And so, yeah, actually, His love frees me from me. Meaning, we have so many, um, this consciousness of I, that we have created, where the emotions lie, where I'm not able to actually reach that love. And so He frees me from that consciousness and He actually guides me to that eternity. So God's love is so pure. God's love is completely transforming. God's love is empowering. God's love is that power that I
It's wonderful.
share. Yes, God's love is the most beautiful thing I can experience. And
Yes.
once the soul starts to experience, I will share that love with others. But this is where I am actually somewhere I've forgotten, not experiencing His love.
Right. I just remember with this, like in our school, we had a hymn saying God's love is so wonderful.
Yeah,
So, right?
yes, yes. And so, yeah, so we have to give that time to experience and not think He's somewhere, up there as God, but think about Him like your friend.
Within
Think
us.
about Him, someone who is so close to your heart, and not intellectually, but give that time, and you can experience. You will experience. You will go very close to His heart, and and it's beautiful, and the soul actually flourishes in love, right? And that's what I think in today's world we are missing: His love, His heart, right? Because it's so
Just
unconditional, so pure. Yes, Rupa.
no, it is true. I think sometimes we forget. We start with God. God is love. We say love is God.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and if we think that, then we can love anyone.
Mhm.
Of course, vibrations are there. I think if you connect with through vibrations, you feel that you can connect with that person.
Mm.
It's a. I feel energy and vibration. No, when it comes together, it's just naturally you are affectionate to the person, and that love develops from there,
Mm.
because it's very important to have good energy with interchange the good energy.
Mm.
you know and another thing, Sister Madhvi, you said, when was the heart symbol? It is in 2050, 1250. That
2050,
is the when.
2050.
Yes, 1250 in the 12th century.
Oh.
and
Long back.
and then in that at that time, the symbol was upside down,
Mm.
and it is not until 14th and 15th century that they made the symbol of a heart. It was heart, but it was upside down.
Mm.
So I said I just wanted to let you know
Sure.
about that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
you know So
Yeah.
it was interesting that said that upside down. I would not have known it was upside down, but it said only in the 14th century did they start to symbolize as the heart
Yeah.
in the right way, the way we see it today.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Mm.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you for sharing. There's a lovely chat message. Um, thank you. Thank you for that lovely message. So, okay, any comments? Anybody wants to say anything? I want to actually show you all a video.
Oh, Om Shanti, Sister Madhvi.
Yes, Poonam Shanti.
Yeah, love is a beautiful friendship, I feel. I think it's a long friendship, and more you love, more it grows.
That's right.
And our Lord has planted so much love in our hearts that we have absolutely nothing to fear. It's so beautiful to, I something like that. I remember, like Kabir used to say, in love, I will play with beloved. If I win, my beloved will be mine. If I lose, I'll be with my beloved. I remember that. I think Kabir had said something like that. I love Kabir, but that love is beautiful. Love is caring. Love is beautiful. We have to be in love with Lord. That's all it matters. Nothing else really is matters. With His love, if we see love in each and every person, it grows. It grows.
That's right.
And it's like first, if we say it's better you than me. First is you, then me. Then there is absolutely no problem.
Right.
I think like that. Anyway, Om Shanti, Sister Madhvi. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Poonam. Very nice.
Om Shanti, Sister Madhvi.
Yes, Sajal, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, beautiful as always. Thank you.
But all of you just wait for, okay, some of you must have watched this video, but some of you haven't. I want to actually show you a video before we close the session. But before that, any comments? Yes, Loretta.
It's very insightful always to listen. We kind of know these things by now, but to make it like a practice, you got to listen all over again. And that's what I find really relaxing, and it puts me like in a meditation mode, and I just go and see the light and see the love, and it's all beautiful.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's true. Why? Yes, these, these reminders are very needed for us, because though we know about love, I think somewhere when it comes into practice, it's very hard sometimes. Sometimes if someone is, not the way I want, like, we think we have love, but somewhere we are blocked in so many ways, not giving love to some and giving love to some. And we feel if someone is not nice to us, we close ourselves and we think, why I have to give love to this one? I don't have any connection with this one. But that's where, God's love actually opens all our hearts. And I think, the more I'm connected to the ocean of love, the soul has a complete different experience of love, complete different experience, and only when I, taste that, I will know what it is. And why some souls, we know, like, some, saints or holy men, we have learned about that, when they're connected to God, like they have mercy, compassion for everyone. They don't judge anyone. There is no judgment in love. And so they are so beyond.
Yeah, we got to learn and practice every day.
Oh, it's a practice. It's a practice.
Yeah.
I actually would like to share something. Is there time?
Yes, Adriana, for sure. Yeah, please.
Thank you. So with the last comment that you were making, Sister Madhvi, it came to mind that when one doesn't have that love within oneself, one very quickly feels or gets drained when one is like, giving love to others. Mm-hmm. And I would like to get to the point where it is unlimited, that love within me is unlimited. And therefore, I'm able to give it all to others around me that I love. Because to me, it's interesting because what actually motivates me to love is to give it to others, not to me. So, but then I realized that if I don't give it to me, I cannot really give to others.
Actually, if
It
you're
very
giving to
quickly.
others, meaning that you have it and you're giving, but yes, you're not realizing it. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, what you said?
I said that if you're giving, if you're really giving love to others, that means it is coming from you, right? It's you
Mhm.
who is giving, so you are full of love already. But it's just that, you're not recognizing, or you're not, seeing that I'm so full of love. And so,
Mm,
but yet, but yes, it's also knowing, that I'm this embodiment of love, and I'm sharing that. Because
yeah.
if you're not in your self-esteem, then after giving love, then sometimes you get tired. Only I'm giving and not receiving. That sort of thing.
Mm, yes, that's what it is.
Mm.
Mhm. And definitely, yeah, that's when you get that feeling of also, yeah, feeling drained, feeling like, oh, you're giving it all and there's nothing left for you.
Yes, yes. Or, we may say, why always I have to give? I don't get it from you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah, but that was very important what you said. Particularly that if you're not in your self-esteem, then you may feel that, yeah, that you're not recognizing that that love is coming from within you.
mm,
Mhm. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So thank you. Just before we close, I want to play this because I think it goes very appropriate with what we just spoke. So just a second. So yes, thank you everyone. And let me start the video. Om Shanti.